As you've seen over the last 6 weeks or so, as uncertainty has started to clear and come into focus, I have been getting increasingly bullish on the US economy. I have said for quite a while, once we get past July 20th, which is, oh, by the way, 3 days from now, the momentum will be to the positive side. And we are starting to get economic numbers that show that call was pretty accurate. We'll actually start with U.S. retail sales. U.S. retail sales, if you remember, last month were horrible. They were negative 0.9. Let's call it negative 1%. This was in the teeth of uncertainty. It was expected to get slightly better, going positive at 0.2. And they actually came in at a 0.6, a pretty big beat to the upside. If you're thinking this might just be because of auto sales, well, here is U.S. retail sales minus autos. Again, last month was negative 0.2, was expected to get slightly better to 0.3, and it too came in much, much better at 0.5. So again, as I've said for quite a while now, consumers can be scared for about 6 months, and then they basically say, F it, I'm going to go live my life. I think these retail sales numbers are just the first sign of many. Well, yesterday in the afternoon, after our morning daily financial news, we also got the Fed Beige Book. If you don't know what the Fed Beige Book is, this is basically a summary of the 18 districts covered by various Fed presidents. In the Fed Beige Book, it said, and I quote, overall activity improved. If you remember the Beige Book from last month, more than half of the districts were declining, again, in the teeth of uncertainty. In addition to that, the Beige Book highlighted loan volume is up. This is actually something we're seeing across financial institutions. More on that in a minute. But loan volume is also up. When loan volume goes up, folks, that means the money supply is moving and people are doing things. It is interesting to note that the Beige Book actually mentioned the ICE raids, the immigration raids, highlighted a couple of things I noted too. The ICE raids are impacting the construction industry with more and more workers not showing up. Also, there was a landscaping company that was only able to fill 50% of their customer requests. So again, we are seeing at least some early impacts from various ICE raids, according to the Fed Beige Book. Since it's Thursday, we also got weekly unemployment claims, folks. And oh, by the way, we are back in the 220s. Remember, we were bouncing around the 220s for seemingly 6 months or so. We got a little bit of a scare 6 weeks ago when it spiked to 250 or 251. It is now back to 221. Yes, actual 221. We have 5 weeks in a row of declining weekly unemployment claims. Even continuing claims came in better than expected. Yesterday, we got the New York survey, manufacturing survey. It was a big beat. Today, we get the Philly Fed Business Index. It too was a big beat. Last month was -4, contracting, expected to be -1, still contracting. However, it came in at 15.9. 15.9. Pretty crazy. I don't know if you saw this interview on CNBC, but Ken Langone, founder of Home Depot, was out saying he is bullish on the American economy, which I think is interesting. Again, I do think as uncertainty is cleared, you're going to see more and more people open up the wallets. Again, we've seen some of that with United Airlines and Delta. We will see where we go as earnings move forward. It's not all good news. We got good old Bill Gross from bond fame. And he says investors need to wake up and get defensive. You can say that Bill Gross is not optimistic. Bill Gross says investors need to wake up, get defensive. This is Bill. What is Bill doing with Bill's money? He's going more to cash. He is buying value that has 4 to 5% dividends and he is emphasizing on new non-U.S. assets. So Bill's taking his money and running out of town, it sounds like. Chester, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. Looks like Fifth Third Bank. Again, we got a note from Fifth Third Bank earnings. Strong loan growth. Again, Fifth Third beat top line, beat bottom lines with earnings announcements today. So again, financial institutions. Folks, let me remind you, it is time to join school. Join school today. Join school today. Work with Mark, the financial firefighter, and get your first month covered. Why? Because tomorrow at 8 a.m., we are going to get a chance to interact with Coach Carson, the original small and mighty investor. Coach Carson is from Bigger Pockets fame. He's our weekly guest every Tuesday, I think. Yeah, every Tuesday. And then, just as a bonus, you're going to get the accountant to the stars on Sunday. You're going to get Bob Langworthy at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. We usually go at 8, but for Bob, I moved my schedule. We're going to do Bob at 9 a.m. on Sunday. So in the next 3 days, you're going to get two legends that can change your financial future, all for free if you work with Mark, the financial firefighter, to get your first $20 reimbursed. So I hope to see you there. The following week, we've got, I think, Casey from Brick by Brick, and then Christian, and we got all kinds of good stuff coming your ways in these live Sunday conversations. So tune into that. We also got United Airlines earning out with the CEO saying, and I quote, "The world is less uncertain than the first 6 months of the year." Huh. Who else said that? I wonder who else said that. And oh, by the way, who called that early? I want to know. We did get Kevin Warsh. Kevin Warsh is out talking crap about the Fed. Kevin Warsh is clearly auditioning to be the next Fed president. Kevin Warsh said a couple of things I noted. The last thing we need is continuity at the Fed. Frankly, the hesitancy to cut rates is a loss in credibility. And I think it's interesting. I mean, let's just talk logically for a minute. Retail sales up, unemployment down, inflation not as bad as people expected. Let's throw that out there too. We are higher than other countries. I don't know. It is it's an interesting conversation. Although I got to say, I think I've made this clear, but I'll say it again. I think having a Fed chair that is seen as a puppet for the president of the United States is a mistake. I think having somebody in the chair that is willing to be and fight to be independent is a good thing. However, having a Fed chair that is a political hack, also not good. There has to be independence. If not, and the president can beat up, push the Fed chair, we're going to get some Arthur Burns action. And you will not like what happens. Again, remember, folks, even if President Trump got his wish and we whacked the Fed rate from 4.25% to 1.25%, which is 300 basis points, it does not guarantee long end rates go down. In fact, if we fire Jerome Powell, my wild guess is long end, i.e. 10-year, goes up. You don't want that. You don't want the Biden vigilantes pissed off. So be careful what you wish for is my advice. So again, United Airlines says less uncertainty than 6 months ago. Interestingly enough, premium revenue is up 5.5%, where basic or economy is only up 1.7%. So again, people are paying for premium, I suppose. I do have a question for you. If you're in my school community, the thing I'm really trying to think about some marketing and whatnot, because I want to see us attract more and more wealth builders. I have 3 kind of taglines. I want to know which one you feel like feels right. 1, we are everyday millionaires, kind of playing on the millionaire next door. We can actually call ourselves the millionaire next door, although I have a sneaky suspicion that might be trademarked. And then the other one is we are everyday wealth builders. What do you think kind of categorizes us as a community, right? What What is the ORaaT community? I'd love to hear from you there. PepsiCo did have earnings today. They beat top line, beat bottom line. However, North America is weak, where volumes actually shrank 1%. And we will close with some Fed speak. Fed President Williams was talking the other day. Central bank independence delivers better outcomes. I agree. Fed needs more data before deciding what next policy is. No, you don't. You have more data than any other humans on the planet. The fact that your data is so whack and not up to date is in real time is somewhere between a shame and a crime. The fact that Trueflation and other now forecasting can do it on a daily, heaven forbid, weekly basis, you don't need more data. You need better data. That's my thoughts on that statement, Mr. Williams. Job market is featuring low hiring and low firing. I agree with that. This is where it gets interesting. This is where stagflation, this is where recession could be. Inflation to be between 3 and 3.5% this year. The Fed really thinks this tariff impact is coming. Unemployment will increase to 4.5%. Folks, that's a dichotomy. That is taking a 4.1% unemployment rate to 4.5% in the next 6 months, and inflation is rising. What does the Fed do? I think the Fed has been very clear they will cut rates, but again, that is not good. Higher inflation, higher unemployment, the Fed tools don't fight that. Tariff increase, according to Fed President Williams, is going to be 1% in 25 and 26. So this is going to be a long and variable lag, I guess, right? They always talk about rate cuts being long and varied. I suppose inflation is the same. And then finally, he thinks that GDP is only going to grow at 1%. Folks, that's stagflation. That's growth below trend. That's rising inflation. That is not a very good economy. All righty, folks, remember, do yourself a favor. Join school today. You will see on the calendar the opportunity to interact with Coach Carson tomorrow. You will get the opportunity to interact with Bob Langworthy from Maine. Maine is in the state, Maine bean counters, on Sunday, with more millionaire conversations, plus the 430-odd community members, free education. You know the drill. Join school. And then finally, don't forget to use Steadily. Insurance is going up. If you are a landlord and you want to get a second opinion, a second quote, better coverage, better rates, see if they can help, go to the link in the description. Steadily is helping one rental at a time fans each and every week save money, or at least know if their current coverage is the best they can do. It doesn't take but a couple of minutes to see if you save some money. I saved $1,000. Others have saved more. Give them a shot. See if they can help you. All right, folks, take care. Have a great week.